Hi, Professor Amano. This is my presentation. I know it's a bit unconventional, but I've been moving in to a new house recently, and this is about the best I could do. So I'm going to give you my presentation on Sydney, Australia. Leaving Pittsburgh and going to Sydney, it's a little bit more of a complicated process. Getting a flight I researched on Delta Airlines would cost around $1,500, and the flight it ranged anywhere from about 21 hours to 24 hours. I think on Delta the exact was 21 hours and like 6 minutes, but that doesn't account for delays and all types of nonsense like that. Where I'm staying, I mean, I might as well stay comfortable if I don't have a budget. So I picked out a nice bungalow in Sydney, and that's where I'll be staying. So it definitely feels good not to have that budget, not to be burdened by that. The big thing in Australia, as we've learned over the unit, is the beaches and the ability to surf and to participate in aquatic sports. And one of their most famous beaches is Bondi Beach. And Bondi is a great tourist attraction, has a lot to do, not just surfing and the beach itself, but it also has a lot of great notoriety for its surrounding stuff, such as restaurants, cafes, and shopping centers to keep people busy. And another thing I really liked about Bondi Beach is they have sculptures by the sea every single year. It's a big event. It stretches for about a mile, mile and a half, and it includes all types of great sculptures and artwork that people have completed. And it's really something special to see looking at all the pictures of it. The Taronga Zoo, they have over 4,000 animals, both native and exotic. Obviously, a big draw to Australia is the marsupial life, the koalas, the kangaroos. It has a lot to do there. Has a great view, obviously, as you can tell by the picture, overlooking the giraffe pen of Sydney. And they have a ropes course challenge. It has over 4 different courses and zip lines and really high up stuff. And if people are into that, that's something that can always be done. Another thing I really liked about the Taronga Zoo is they offer something called a Roar and Snore Challenge, and that's staying overnight in a safari style tent and being able to interact with the wildlife up close. So I thought that was a pretty interesting concept right there. I do think that would be kind of a little bit of a liability at some times, but I'm sure that they take care of that in a certain way to make sure people are safe. Basically, the most popular thing about Sydney and the most popular attraction has to be the Sydney Opera House. Over 40 performances each week. You can acquire backstage access, which if I have no budget, I'm probably going to get that backstage access. And they also conduct daily tours starting every morning at 7 a.m. It's very famous around Sydney, one of the most popular things that people talk about, and we see it represented in a lot of different ways in the media, and it's often very popular. Now, this is something I did not know about. The Sydney Harbour Bridge, now it's in the middle of Sydney. You can travel from across the water, one part to the other, and you can cycle across it, walk across it, do whatever. But you can also climb it, and I did not know that. And it's 440 feet tall, and you don't need any previous climbing experience to go do that. But being that I'm afraid of heights, I'm not sure if I would exactly find that to be something worth my time. So that was my presentation on Sydney, and it looks like a very interesting place and a place that I would like to visit in the future if I have the ability to do so.